I think we're live.
I got a notification.
Okay. It's working.
Oh my god. He said you went there.
There is one person watching, although...
There's one person?
That's what it says.
Hello. Hi.
We haven't done this in literally years.
I've never done this.
We did a live stream before.
When?
On my channel.
Like this?
Similarly.
With me?
On this... Not this couch. On the red couch. At your parents. We did it like a couple times.
Oh my god, that must have been years ago.
Huh?
That must have been years ago.
Yeah.
How do you not hear me? You can hear me through here, no?
This is very delayed, and I think I'm good with... It sounds good, so I'm gonna...
Should I go live on the Instagram? I've never gone live on Instagram.
Yeah, try it.
Okay, here we go. I think this is how I do it. Am I live?
Hugo Reeds is with us.
Oh, hi, Hugo!
Can you pull it up on your thing so I don't have to stretch over to look at it?
I know him. He's great. He's my Stephen King buddy.
I've heard much about you as well.
Yeah. I told him we were doing this live because he and I might do a live together soon.
Oh,
so
okay.
Maybe.
Okay. I don't know.
I don't know what you're trying to do. Anyway, I don't know how to do this either. I think... Am I live? I'm not even sure. I don't think so. Please excuse, our incompetence.
Well, we're waiting for people to show up. That's our excuse.
Sure. Shadow and bone discussion / rant. Okay, go live.
Okay, here you
Oh
go.
my god, I'm now live.
You're live?
I'm live on Instagram as well.
Okay,
Oh my god.
So...
Hello. There's no one here yet.
On Instagram?
No, yeah. No one on Instagram either. But it's okay.
Welcome to Neverland Book Club Live.
Welcome to the Neverland Book Club. You know me. I am your host, Nadia, and this is my husband, Pablo. He is also my cameraman and my color grading man and my audio man and my everything man. If you were a bagel, you'd be an everything bagel.
Nice.
Yeah, he helps me make all the videos, all the comments that I get on how the quality of the videos, they look really high quality. It's all him. That's what happens when you're married to a video production person. You get really good videos.
Thanks. So...
I don't know how to get both of us in the shot.
Don't. Just get yourself.
Okay, hello.
If they want to see everything, they come to Facebook.
Oh, that's right. People on Instagram, if you want to see this whole thing, the whole setup we got here, go to youtube.com/Neverland Book Club. You can see the whole thing with like channel switching.
Yeah,
it's a whole thing.
Hold on. Let me try it. Look at
Look at that fanciness. Y'all are missing it if you're just here. Go over there.
And there's one of me too, but ooh. Okay. So pardon me if I'm looking this way. I'm trying to monitor several things at once, including the audio, and I'm going to turn it up a little bit because I think we're kind of quiet.
Okay, so the point of us being live right now is because we just finished watching the entire series, season, the 8 episodes of Shadow and Bone, and
we didn't just finish watching it. We finished two.
We finished it yesterday.
Wasn't it?
Last night.
No, last night we wanted to stream and then we couldn't. So we finished the day before. The day before we didn't stream because we were watching it.
It's still Monday to me. I don't know. Anyway, we watched it.
Originally, we wanted to do like first impressions of just the... I just realized
the first episode?
Yeah. Nope. I'll get it.
This is all new to us.
Yeah, first we wanted to do like a first impression things with just the first episode.
But then we couldn't stop.
Sure. And then we're like, oh, we'll do the first 2 episodes.
Then we'll do the first half. And then we just finished it. So they're like, all right, we'll just do the whole thing.
Yeah.
So that's why we're here. Hello.
And it's also, it's a little reminder that the giveaway is still going on.
Oh, yeah.
You still have time to enter it. Maybe you should.
It ends tomorrow at midnight.
You're supposed to be monitoring comments.
I am?
Yes, this is your channel.
So many jobs.
So you still get a chance to enter. And you should, if you haven't already. But then also...
Hi, Chelsea.
To follow the rules.
Chelsea's my bestie. Hi, Chelsea. All my friends are here. Yay. Oh, hi, Josh. The war room scene? Hi, bestie. Okay, I'm trying to monitor comments on both. I'm getting comments here too, which is great.
Well, tell the people on Instagram to join us.
You haven't read the books or watched the show. Yeah, go ahead and yeet yourself out. Come back later, Josh.
Well,
okay.
You can, I don't know.
Yeah, you can say, we can try and stay. We're not. No, there's gonna be spoilers.
But we'll give proper warning. I think.
We'll give warning if there's spoilers.
Because I do wanna kind of approach this from.
I have to watch it right now.
Because you already reviewed the book, and I'm assuming a lot of people watch that. But
yeah, if you haven't seen that,
we want to kind of today we're mostly talking about the show and kind of how how it ties in with the book, but also if the show is a good standalone
right.
thing.
Okay. Yes. Now I am a very vocal wife, like a reading wife. So Pablo pretty much knows the book, even though he hasn't read it, because will talk about it.
We have to
kind
talk
of
about
nonstop whenever I'm reading a book. I'll like tell you about what I'm reading and stuff. And then he reads and reviews all of my scripts before we do anything. And he like tells me how it can be better and how like you can add this or take out that. So he's like pretty well versed in the story other than the show as well, even though he hasn't really read it.
Yeah, so. and that's also on purpose sometimes because I feel like having the perspective of someone who doesn't know the story can really help with kind of fine-tune the script in a way that appeals to a larger audience, not just everyone that's super familiar with the story.
That's
so a lot of times it's hard once you know everything really well. It's hard to put yourself in the shoes of someone who doesn't.
Right.
So then you start speaking.
I have that issue.
So then you start speaking a certain way.
Yeah.
That.
I have such an issue with other people not thinking the way I do, and I'm like, but this makes sense in my head. Why are you not making sense in like all aspects of life? So. Thanks for your perspective, husband.
You're welcome.
Okay, so the show, episode 1.
Yeah. So.
How did you like it?
Actually, okay. Here's what we're gonna do. Okay. The series as a whole. Your opinion.
Okay.
Just your opinion. Nothing, too detailed. Just kind of your opinion on it.
As a series, as a whole, I think it's fun. It's not specifically mind-bending. It's not exactly like it's not too suspenseful, and maybe it's just not too maybe it's just not too suspenseful because I knew it was going to happen. But maybe to someone who hasn't seen it, it would be suspenseful. But I think to me, the overall arcing theme of it was exciting and fun. So if you're looking for and production quality was through the roof. Great production quality, great costuming, great makeup, pretty great effects actually, because being an Avatar diehard fan and a martial artist, the martial arts in it were solid-ish. The fight scenes were like, all right, that was just pretty easy. Camera angles, being able to like hide punches and stuff is interesting. Like it didn't look like anything was choreographed by someone.
Yeah, there was like one scene in particular. Remember?
Yeah, that it was just like cut. What was it? That was the fight.
Yeah, there was like.
I think it was Jesper.
There was something in particular that was like, they totally hit the way they hit them.
I think it was he was fighting the guy in the sheets.
I don't remember that.
And he was like, I can't shoot the face because he's got a pretty face. I love Jesper, by the way.
Yeah,
he's my favorite.
Yeah, some of the stuff was, like in the fight scene specifically, maybe a little cheaply done.
Yeah.
Like they had to, he had to cut corners somewhere, and
right.
And they didn't on set design, so they had to do it somewhere
else. Costume or makeup or anything.
There were like a few things, remember, that was like, Whenever they would cut angles, and it was like, oh, that person's hand wasn't there before.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. There was a lot of like we are filmmakers, so we see things like that. We can never watch anything
And just enjoy
it
at
anymore.
face
Everything
value.
is like, oh, they must have reset for that shot. Oh, they misfocus. Oh, like everything has like a background to it when we watch stuff. But anyway, I was talking about how the effects, like the fire effects, the wind effects, those kind of effects were actually pretty cool. I didn't think her lighting effect was actually that great.
Yeah,
I think it could have been a lot better. It feels like they just put a mask over her skin and was just like, illuminate to 100.
it looked a little cartoony.
Yes, it looked cartoony, like especially
like
when they
she
did
was-
her face. It was just like,
But that didn't happen a lot. So we didn't get to see a lot of shots of that happening because there was a lot of like controlling it with your hands and stuff. And I think we're getting into too much detail for this specific thing. But yes, and the few shots that her body itself illuminates, it was a little comical sometimes.
yeah, a little bit.
Um,
I want to say, hi, Elle. Thank you for being a fan. I see you. Okay, continue.
Yeah. In general, anything else you want to?
Okay, there is something I want to address. On Instagram
Is it?
and everywhere. Okay,
Okay.
On Instagram, everywhere. All I see are women and girls just pining over Mal and the Darkling and Kaz and Jesper. And I get it, okay? I get it. But did anyone see Alina? Did anyone see how cute she is? And how pretty she is? I couldn't get over it. Like, yeah, the guys, they were pretty cute. But Inej, her face, her hair, her demeanor, I was crushing so hard on all of the women. Like 10 times more than the guys. So I just want to say I appreciate all of them. Their faces, their everything.
Well, there's also a lot of inclusion and diversity in the casting.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
was
I want to say it's pretty like that. It's pretty much like that in the books too.
sure, but in general, I mean, so
Well,
productions in
Alina's
general,
whole thing is that she's different
right?
ethnically.
So yeah, I guess there's some of it in the story itself, but in general, productions are not known for being super diverse, and they did a good job at being very, very inclusive without being super in your face about it, which
Yeah.
was nice.
Yeah.
So it's not something that you really notice it. Like, you kind of notice it on, on a lot of the Disney stuff. Whenever
Yeah.
they try to be a little more inclusive,
Yeah.
it's obvious and it's like in your face. And this was not that, which
Yeah.
is nice. But they did have a lot of in your face things,
Like?
themes. So immediately, like from the first
The
episode,
stag chose me.
uh,
I am the chosen one.
Okay,
I am
hold on,
basically
hold
Harry
on.
Potter.
don't get into too many details. Remember,
Sorry. Spoilers.
but like right away, the whole thing with the two of them being friends, Mal and Alina,
Okay.
it was so heavy-handed that they wanted to be more than friends. like like within the first like 10 minutes, you're like, why do they have such a strong sexual tension?
Yeah.
But they won't, like, neither of them will acknowledge it.
The lingering glances are, I think, half of each episode is just someone looking at the other one just longingly. And I think, I don't remember who it was, but someone on my Instagram, I was flipping through stories and someone timed the look that the Darkling gives Alina when she first comes out and she's being like presented to the king. And it's a full like 9 seconds of him just staring. It's just, the shot is just on him staring at her. And like, yeah, lingering stares are cute sometimes and they can, I don't know, make you feel some type of way. But I just feel like at times it can also be quite comical. I can see your foot. It looks weird.
Sorry. Yeah, but I mean, just for me specifically between them two, it kind of took me out of it. It was a little unrealistic with how romantic their language between them was.
Yeah.
But how Yeah, bro.
Yeah, we're just friends.
And you kind of mentioned that that's something that happened in the books as well, but well, no, you mentioned that that's not something that happens in the books.
No.
But then at some point they like realized that it seemed way more organic the way you describe it in the book.
Yeah, it actually is pretty
that, like,
more.
yes, they
pretty
grew up
much.
together, and like yes, they had a close connection, but there wasn't that tension necessarily.
Yeah.
And then at some point they're like, oh, maybe there's something else here.
Kind of
as
like
well.
towards the
We're
end of the
here-
first book, it's like, oh, you like me? Oh, I like you. Oh, let's make this happen. But in the show, it's more of like, I don't know. It's just so juvenile. It's so juvenile, and the whole.
So that was another interesting thing for me. Like when you talked about the books in the review, and you talked about how YA this is.
Yes. It's incredibly young.
I thought it was gonna be a little too Disney-ish.
Oh.
A little too, I don't know. Even Harry Potter was like, from the one movie that I watched in high school or something.
I haven't done my due diligence with him just yet.
But yeah, I thought it was gonna be a little too juvenile and stuff, but it kind of wasn't. There was more blood than in all the Marvel movies combined.
Yeah.
There was a good amount of blood.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the themes
Wait,
and
blood
everything.
or violence? I don't remember blood.
There's some. I might think of some. No, there was blood
When?
in general.
I know there were like scenes where people were being like ripped apart with the Volcra, but I don't think I remember blood.
I might think of something else we watched. What else did we watch recently?
We are gonna watch The Handmaid's Tale tonight,
Anyways,
which I need to get emotionally prepared for. But
yeah, and then the story itself, I thought was perfectly serviceable. It was entertaining. It had its twist, even after everything you told me, which you told me way more in details than you did that you described in the review.
mm-hmm.
There was still some stuff that was like, okay, I didn't see that coming. That was surprising. I enjoy that.
Okay, cool. Good. Because I mentioned in my review how everything was very, like, I could kind of predict everything as it was going to happen before it happened. I kind of knew beforehand, spoilers. If you don't want spoilers, please. I love you, but
come back in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. I kind of already knew that the Darkling was the heretic, that he was the
Yeah.
ancient of himself.
You did okay. So you did a really good job at not telling me
Yeah.
that when we were talking about it, and then also not mentioning it
And not mentioning that Bagra was his mom.
Yeah. So those were the two big
Yeah.
surprises for me.
Also, I absolutely love the woman who plays Bagra. She also plays Catherine de Medici in Reign, another show that I absorbed in like a month. I watched all of it. And I love her character in that show. And the actress is just great. I love her. Yeah, I think she really brought her to life. I, in my head, when I read it, did not picture her. I pictured like what it describes, like just a really, really old, ancient woman. And she brought a lot more elegance to the role than I had seen in my own head. So it was kind of like a nice little additive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was definitely one of the more interesting characters, including like where she lived and all that. But most of that came from the book, right?
Yeah. But was it
So-
not like her training? Was it not like a Rocky montage? That's exactly what I said. That's what I saw in my head when I read the book. I was like, this is a Rocky montage.
Well-
and then when she was like, bring the light, and, again, she keeps hitting her and she's like, ow!
I think one of my complaints that I would have is, I think this was definitely meant for people that already are familiar with the story.
Probably, yeah.
There's some relationship building stuff that they just mention and they don't show. Yes,
what?
yes, we do get some flashbacks to when they were kids,
Mm-hmm.
both of them, but a lot of like establishing how relationships work. They do the a less exaggerated version of what they do in never mind, I'm not gonna mention it. But
What they do in what, I'm sorry?
I said never mind, I'm not gonna mention it.
Oh.
I guess I will now. So a big criticism of episode 2 of the prequels.
Oh,
is,
episode 2. We're talking Star Wars now.
but very specifically, yes, episode 2.
Okay.
Is that I don't want to get into too much side detail,
Okay.
but is that both of them are supposed to be really good friends, Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Right.
And they never show them getting along. They just talk about it on the elevator up. They're
Yeah.
like, remember the one time? Yeah, remember the one time? Oh yeah, and I saved you from this one time. So there's a little bit of that here
I'm really
too.
surprised they didn't do that sitting down.
Well, they were in the elevator.
There should have been a couch in the elevator just to stay
It's like this is the
on
future of
point.
elevators.
We are not fans of the prequels. We're Star Wars fans,
I hope not clipping the microphone.
but
Someone
not the
let
prequels.
me know if we are. We're definitely talking louder than when we were setting up. Have you got any comments?
I'm getting a couple comments, yeah. Okay. From Elle. Hello, Elle. And Chelsea. All my friends, really. The loyal ones.
Okay, so back to the discussion.
You want to talk about the crows?
So okay, hold on. Let's get into that.
Okay.
So what was I saying? Oh no,
We were talking about the
tumbling
prequels
myself.
and how
yes,
like
so
the friendship.
So yeah, so some of the relationship building stuff that was just exposition and not showing it too much.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like oh, I should. It felt like I was looking into a story that I should know something before jumping in. I don't know how else to put it. So, but that's the thing though, right? Like there's so much hype around it that I guess most of the audience is at least somewhat familiar with it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, if you can get past that, it's really, it doesn't get in the way too much. It's not like it really affects the story in any way.
So everyone's commenting about how Mal, everyone meaning the two of you that are here, thank you. Commenting about how Mal is more realistic in the books, and I completely agree. His reaction to her choices and everything are so much more realistic in the books. And in the books, it's kind of like she doesn't know if he likes her or if like what she's feeling is real, and she's kind of like, she thinks he died for most of the book, so she's kind of like grieving him.
That was an interesting dynamic too.
And then here, it's like all she can think about until she kind of lets him go, and then just attacks the Darkling with sexual attention. I was like, whoa, now.
Yeah, so that was what. Okay, so if we're talking, that feels like something they probably went back to rewrite.
Best way to get over a man is to get under a new one.
It feels like they probably wrote them as being a couple already.
Yeah.
And then there were, you know what I think happened? I actually had a theory about this. I think they initially wrote it as them being a couple, and wow, maybe they even shot some stuff like that.
Maybe.
And that's why we have so much of that cuddliness and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had her do that, and then they realized, oh no, we're having her essentially cheat on him.
Yeah.
He's not gonna forgive her that easily. Okay, we gotta just make them friends.
Okay, I see what you're. Yeah. I can see that. That's probably
Yeah, at some like when. Okay, the other thing that was really interesting about that was she was clearly taking revenge on him. Like she was clearly essentially cheating. It was her way of spiting him and like.
Well, at some point, I don't remember who tells her. I think it might have been Bagra that tells her, like it might just be all in your head, like this whole thing that you have for him.
Yes.
Was it her? Or was it Jenya?
No, it was her.
And she was like, "Oh, maybe it wasn't."
Because she's like, yeah, I need him. Like he will know what to do to get me to perform.
Oh.
But and then yeah, she remembers a couple things like oh, when I was touching his hand, he was the first one to let go.
Yeah.
What a horrible friend.
Also, they made so many shots of them holding hands.
He told his friends that I was just her little friend.
Little friend?
How dare he?
You know how many times I've been called little one by just everyone that I've ever made an acquaintance with?
It wasn't even little one.
And it's
he called her little
my
friend.
little friend.
But, yeah, and I guess I don't know what he was supposed to say. Was he supposed to say, "She's my best friend"?
Maybe.
But that's
I
what
am
mean.
her amplifier.
But that's what I mean with that feeling so heavy-handed.
But they had so many shots of them holding hands, and I was like, why isn't she glowing like a glow stick?
Well, we don't know. We don't know if he's an amplifier in this
In this
series.
version?
Yes.
Well, he has to be. He has to be.
I would like it more if he wasn't.
Yeah, I would have liked it more if he wasn't too, just in general.
I still think I think they might change it.
I hope they do.
Um,
Because they're changing a bunch of stuff with the crows, which I really, really appreciated. I really appreciate the way they're not telling the Six of Crows story, like, at all. It's not. It's about a heist, but instead of again, spoilers, everybody, spoilers. If you haven't read Six of Crows,
well, if you watch the show, I guess you're not. Are you gonna spoil?
Well, the whole point, everyone knows even before you read the book that Six of Crows is about a heist. It's about like a band of these bandits who essentially have like the biggest heists and whatever. Also, I thought the winnings in the book, I can double check now, but it might take me too long to just find the passage, was 30 million Kruge. And in the show, if I'm not mistaken, it was just 1 million. And I was like, why would they?
Well, it wasn't the same heist, but I guess
why would they change it? No, this would be more.
Yeah, this might have been.
This would be so much more. They mention Dreda Parem very briefly, like just once, and I was like, hey, there it is. But that's like the whole premise of the book is about this drug that's like specific to Grisha, that like it's kind of like an amplifier, but in a bad sense. It becomes addictive and it basically kills them and stuff. So a review on that coming soon at some point, maybe. But it's not about that at all here. The heist is Alina. They're trying to kidnap Alina in the show. And I thought that was a very interesting dynamic and tie-in.
Yeah,
they also didn't use all of the crows. There wasn't 6 of them.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
There was Inej, Jesper, Kaz. Those are the main 3, and they don't really get to see Nina and Matthias. Nina is my favorite of the crows. I also had a big crush on her in the show. I think she was perfect as Nina. Like, just everything about her. Her face, her acting, her everything, her demeanor. I thought she was great. She really brought her to life to me. That is also exactly how I pictured Matthias. Great. He's not my favorite because he's a little bit misogynistic in character, but that's just his character. But you know, they have that dynamic
because that was more so about his culture, not
exactly. Yeah. Fjerden. Also, I didn't know how to pronounce that until I saw the show. Because it's spelled a specific way in the book, and every time I would pass by that while I was reading, I'd just be like, which might be, you know, I don't know if that could be offensive to someone. I'm sorry, but I know now how to pronounce it. Fjerden.
Yeah. So those 2 stories, the Nina story, particularly was one of the weird ones if you don't know anything about the universe, because it was just like this kind of inconsequential thing, and then it kind of ties in with her being a spy. Mm-hmm. But then the fact that they keep cutting back to her as someone who doesn't know what's going on, they was not expecting, and like, why are we still following these two?
I got so excited every time they came back on the screen because
it was fun.
Reading
but it was
part of Six of Crows was like, it was one of my favorite parts every time we got to go back and it's kind of like a flashback of seeing their kind of come together, because their first scene together in Six of Crows is Are you paying attention to comment? I'm trying to.
Okay.
Their first scene together in Six of Crows when you're reading is they're trying to save him from this prison. They mention at the end that he's going to be sent to Hellgate, which is a specific prison.
Is that the kidnappers, the human trafficking prison?
I mean, that's where he's sent, but it's not just for that.
Okay, because that's where the show's heading. No?
That's where what?
Isn't that where the show's heading?
I don't know.
Because she was like, oh yeah, he's trying to human traffic me.
Yeah, well, she said that so that he could just go to prison and not be killed, because if the Grisha took him, then he would have been killed.
Yes, I got that.
Yeah. Anyway, But he's going to be sent to this place called Hellgate. And in the books, that's where they find each other again. And he like sees her and then wants to kill her because he's so mad at her. And you're like, oh, what's happening? What did she do to him? Oh my God. So then when you get to that point of them meeting and their whole banter, and it's like this sexual tension, and it's intriguing because she's like literally strung up. And he's like, yeah, when she's on the ship.
Oh, the first time they meet.
Yeah, she's in like shackles.
Right.
Well, that's not the first time they meet. He's like part of the band that catches her.
Well, that's
so he was there. Yeah, it's the first time they like talk, but he like is obviously taken with her and stuff. And he's like, oh, you are a witch. You are bewitching me with your Grisha powers. And she was like, I'm literally just a person. Y'all got to calm down. But yeah, that was the most intriguing part of the book, other than the whole heist part. Like, you know, once it gets good, but like the backstory-ness, I felt like that was great. I really enjoyed that part of the show. It felt kind of like I was watching a little bit of Pirates of the Caribbean when they were on the ship, which was also fun. And then, you know, a shipwreck is always fun. So, yeah. Hello, comments. Inej is everything. Inej is everything. Yes. She did look absolutely flawless, stunning. Everything about her. Literally everything about her. Her makeup, her hair, her clothes. The way she looked in her clothes. Her acting was perfect. I loved everything about her. Oh, can we talk about the acting for a bit?
Sure, what do you want to...
I want to talk about the Darklings' acting and how it was too much.
I think it was perfectly serviceable for what it was. But it did feel a little bit out of tone for everything else, if that makes sense. So I think it was perfect acting for YA fiction fantasy, but everything else felt a little bit cringe. But everything else felt a little bit more mature and more refined, that it stood out a little bit, if that makes sense.
Okay. When I look at Alina...
There were also some like really good moments. Like, remember, I pointed this out to you and you were like, did it really? And we had to go back when he was... Oh, was when he was talking to Mal? I forget when it was.
No. It was right before he said, fine, make me your villain.
Yes.
He had like an eye twitch. And
it was good.
It was good. And I was like, okay.
You could really tell the emotion in his face.
The only other actor that I've noticed can do the eye twitch like that, and maybe I just haven't seen enough, but the only other person that I recognize that has that eye twitch is Elizabeth Moss as June, which we're probably going to do another live about that after we watch, you know, stay tuned.
Yeah, let us know if you guys like
if you guys like this live. I've never gone live before, and this is a lot of fun. I like seeing everyone.
We used to do this 2 years ago.
I don't remember that.
Not about books. It was for the tech channel.
Oh. We used to have a tech channel.
Used to. Still around.
Casting is so accurate and good. Yes, I agree. I think everyone is basically what I imagined, which is great. Bookish poo. Yeah. What else? Jesper is perfect. His acting was great. I think the best addition was Milo. Like that's the goat's name, right?
But that does bring up something.
You want to talk about the bullet?
There were a couple things that were so convenient.
Like Alina getting into the trunk.
Well, that was funny. I like that.
That was funny. That was very. Yeah, that was very like I Love Lucy. Like just a little bit slapstick of really.
If anything, I think I liked when she's at the cave. Why was there even like an intersection there? But
because she had to be given a choice and she made the wrong choice. But was it the wrong choice? Because I don't think Bagger would have killed her, but would she have?
No, she was trying to help.
Because the one I don't remember her name, but she tried to kill Mal.
Yeah, by her orders.
Yeah. So I don't know if in this world, like that kind of went over my head a little bit. Maybe I just missed that. Hug the goat. Always hug the goat. I freaking love the goat. I love goats in general because I feel like if I were ever an animal, I would be a baby goat. Like, because they scream and they jump and they get really scared. And then when they do get scared, they just stiffen and fall over.
Not all goats do that.
Not all goats do that.
No. They're very specifically...
If I were a goat, I would do that.
A certain type of goat.
If I were a goat, I would do that. Anyway, yeah, a few things seemed a little bit too convenient, like the whole bullet thing on the goat. I
So
felt, yeah.
and okay, specifically because other things they like went out of their way to explain and kind of like the whole thing. Remember when they started talking about the stag? Oh, you're still on.
Yeah, we're still here.
How many people are there?
How many people are here?
On Instagram.
It says 1.
Well, come over YouTube.
Wait, does it say 1? I don't know.
Anyways,
there's comments. There's a bunch of comments.
Oh.
Yeah, look how many.
Pay attention to this. Instagram people, come over to.
Yeah,
YouTube.
go to YouTube. There's 6 people on YouTube. Hello.
What's the saying? Okay, so there were a couple of things that like they kind of went out of the way to explain and make sense. Like I think you mentioned that there wasn't a testing in the books.
Not that I remember. I think you can be tested, but I don't remember
like it wasn't like
how
institutionalized mandated test.
Yeah, I could be wrong. I could have just missed that part in the beginning of the book, but
okay. Regardless,
I don't remember her.
I guess you like explain in the book
cutting herself on purpose to evade being.
So that was to me that was a nice little addition to kind of I guess overly explain something, because someone might have had that question like, oh, how come she didn't have her powers before?
Yeah.
You know, like wouldn't you want? I don't know. And they like explain it, and it's like, okay, now we have a reason why this happened. Cool. There's a couple other things I don't remember specifically, but then the stag. She like I was like, why is she starting to dream about the stag all of a sudden? And it wasn't that she was dreaming all the time. They like explained
it was like her whole life
that she's like constantly having dreams about the stag. So that was again a nice little addition to make things not so convenient.
Yeah. To
make things more
that definitely elevated in the she cut herself by accident when she saw Mal after a while when hugging him. I don't remember that.
In the book?
I guess in the book.
Well,
thank you.
What does that have to like does that
Well, she cut herself on purpose in the show to evade being
to not know if she had powers or not.
Right.
Because it's not like that she knew and she was trying to hide them. It's that she didn't know and she didn't want to know.
Alina talks to Mal about Darkling stealing her stag drawing and making gloves to suppress her power, and I didn't get that at all. Should have done more showing instead of telling. Yes, I agree. Show more than tell. Right? Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, they mentioned
junk.
They mentioned that the drawings were stolen, but yeah, we never see that. And we never see her drawing it either. So that was a little confusing.
Well, we see her drawing it when she's a kid.
Right, but did she kept that drawing her whole life?
I don't know if that was the same drawing or if
she just kept doing more drawings.
Drawing it more and more.
Yeah, because then Mal recognizes like, oh, that's her drawing, and I was like, is it or is it the same drawing that she used to do,
or
but someone else did it?
Maybe because they're just so close, he just recognizes that that's how she draws. Who the hell knows?
Okay, wait, hold on. So the thing with Stag, my point is that they're trying to overly explain some things to not make it inconvenient, to make it seem more realistic, and it worked in a lot of things. But then the thing that was with the goat and the bullet, because we see how he got rid of the goat, and maybe I'm wrong, he like gives it to someone specific and like he says his goodbyes and stuff. There was like no specific reason why the goat would end up at the camping. And it's so easily fixable too. Like maybe the goat, like they should have done something where the guards one of the guards ends up with a goat at the bar or whatever, or maybe they don't even say goodbye and like the goat just disappears, and then it's like, okay, they ended up there. A little convenient, but now the fact that there was that that goodbye and it was more disconnected makes it like, okay, we just didn't know how to get our character up here.
Yeah. I mean, it was a nice twist in. I liked seeing the different twist-ins with the crows and the original characters, because that's so much fan service. It's so much fan service to see like that one scene where the Darkling and Kaz kind of cross paths and he does his whole little magician's thing, and he gets to disappear. And then
what was
when
that?
Mal is like underneath, I don't know, it's one of his little tricks. And then when Mal is underneath the deck at the last episode, and Inej is like, I'm going with him because he seems reckless and he's gonna do shit.
Well,
So he's gonna
his
do
line
something.
his line was perfect. I actually really like that when
Yeah.
when they're like the smart thing we say. It's like he like grabs his fist and it's like, I didn't say I was smart.
Yeah. That's another thing. Like, if you're a young
He was
woman,
so rash with everything.
yeah,
And
that's his character.
the
I am become a soldier. He gets that tattooed on him at some point.
I am become.
I am become. Yes.
Is that on purpose? The bad grammar? Or is that a?
You know, maybe someone can explain that to me, but I don't remember what I am become a blade. A blade? Is that what it is? I am become a blade?
That doesn't make.
It doesn't make any sense, right? When I read it, I was like, I am become a blade. Maybe it's just going over my head and I don't understand it, but I don't understand it. So if someone can explain that to me, what's that supposed to mean? He gets it tattooed on him in like the second or third book or something. And yeah, they didn't show it here. They maybe season 2, but yes. So if I was a young woman, which I am, if I was a young woman with, you know, in Alina's predicament, let's say, which I'm not, but if I were, and I had, you know, Mal, and I had the Darkling, why would I go for Mal? Like, okay, here's the thing.
Because the Darkling is evil.
But
And
here's
Mal
the thing.
sees you.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Is he evil? We saw his backstory, okay? It's the same reason why I like Damon.
Yes, he's evil.
It's the same reason.
It's one of the ends or the means. What is it? It doesn't matter.
The
like
ends
why
don't
you're
justify the means.
Yes,
The ends don't justify the means.
but but here both of them are bad. So I don't. That's not the.
Mal's not
His
bad.
no the like
Mal
his
is, like,
method.
overall good
no,
guy.
his method is bad, and his ends are bad. No, his ends are good. I guess good because he does want to end wars. So he does want
Well,
to.
he wants to end wars by
peace.
being.
so
He wants forced peace.
right. So I guess the ends don't justify the means is appropriate in this case.
But if you are someone like Alina, like I understand that. Okay, here's something that I really liked, and
It's a very Thanos-y approach to.
that's true. But
To ending-
I have my dilemmas with Thanos because
So it makes it a more interesting character, but it doesn't make it any less evil.
okay.
Well, okay, not evil.
Okay,
Evil.
My good friend Chelsea has something to say.
Evil does have a spectrum, but he's still a bad guy.
Okay, I guess I just like bad guys. He also, like, the beard and everything, he seems so much more manlier. Like, if I put them side by side based on just like who would just
Well, that's why she
better.
went for him. And then, you know, the mom, if you go for someone and you're like, you know, one day into your honeymoon stage, and then
he
his
kills
mom,
a village.
and then his mom is like, oh, by the way,
Oh, his mom.
he's like
1,000
4 times
years
the
old
age you
and-
think he is. He killed a lot of people. And he's been lying to you this whole time. And you're like, no, but he's acting really sweet. It's like, yeah, I know. That's what he does. Would you be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to stick with him?
Here's the thing. I stick by my initial thoughts when I did the review. I would not stick by him emotionally, but I would as strategy.
We're just talking part of you're saying
Right.
that I don't understand why you would go for Mal when you have him. That's the only part we're talking about.
Okay.
And so you were going to
Yeah.
read a comment.
Because the Darkling is manipulative. While he isn't evil, I don't think he does have ways to get a means to an end. It's not that his heart is in
He's
it all the
immoral.
time, but he views people as pawns to get it. His end goal.
Right.
Very good point. The Darkling
Right.
is a great, morally gray character that has complexities that build on themselves, but it's hard to understand his true motives. Exactly. That's yes, it is hard to understand his true motives, especially before we get his backstory. Because who was that woman that was killed? The healer? Like, was she something to him?
Oh yeah, that was interesting.
That seemed, because that was kind of like why he created the fold.
And they were trying to make him seem more human
hurt
and stuff.
Yeah.
But they see, that's one of the ones where they expect us to just know the relationship between these two.
Yeah.
But it's just done in a little exposition of of like, we've been together for so long, and you know, I don't know.
Okay, L also has a good I think in the book he didn't kill all the people in the skiff. It was Alina who left them to die to save Mal, right? I think you're right. Because in the second book she keeps like reliving that, and she's kind of haunted by the fact that she thinks people died because of her, because she decided to not emit the light anymore and run at the end of the first book. So she's haunted by the fact that people died in the fold because of her. I think. You know, it's funny how much I retain and don't retain. Because it's kind of like reading sometimes, especially when you speed read, when you're just like trying to get through it and you're enjoying it, but it's like, wow, oh my God. And you just keep going. It's kind of like when you have a dream and you're just trying to remember that dream because you didn't see it. You know, it was all in your head.
Yeah.
And it's like a memory of a memory in your head. It's difficult to explain.
Yeah, and that way I would say shows and movies are kind of easier to remember because you're not just relying on one form of stimulation.
Right.
If you don't remember the story, you might remember the graphics, and if you don't remember the graphics, you might remember the
sound,
audio, the sound. So there's a lot more things to kind of help you remember.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about? Oh, the conductor.
Mm-hmm.
The conductor, if I'm correct, if I'm not wrong, was not a character in the books.
But was there a train? I think I asked you this before and I don't remember.
No.
I think there was a lot of things that we were talking while watching, and they were like, "Oh no, just leave it."
Okay, so
don't ask me right now.
So I kind of spoiled something for you during our watch, and it had to do with the crows and the fold. So in the timeline of Six of Crows, it's after the 3 books. So it's after everything is kind of resolved.
Yeah, you mentioned that. You mentioned that in the review, and like that's not like you would have to read you can just read the back of the cover and just.
So
I don't know.
But I don't know if you remember the spoiler. I said the fold isn't even a thing anymore.
You mentioned that, and
okay, so the crows never deal with the fold in the books, at least. I don't know if they had when they were younger or whatever, but in Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, they don't deal with the fold because it's no longer a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Prince Nikolai is a thing. I was waiting for him the whole time, and he never really showed up. And I was really upset over that. I was like, we really have to wait till season 2 to get Prince Nikolai, even though he's the best part of all of this. I'm upset. So the crows never really go into the fold, so it was really interesting to see them literally travel through it. And that was an interesting and very funny and exciting scene when they're going through it. And I also thought that we were going to get a little bit of and I don't want to spoil it for you, but a little bit of a something from Jesper when they were going through the fold. And then they turned it into him kind of shooting the Volcra and being a badass about it, like after panicking and holding the goat, which I thought was hilarious. So, yeah, they didn't do that just yet, but I'm anticipating it.
That whole thing was a little interesting too when they didn't have as much coal as they said. He was like, no one's ever crossed with less than 20 something of coal.
Pounds.
Pounds? Was it pounds?
I think 60. He needs 60, but he only got 20.
I thought they needed 20 and they only had like 16.
No, I think they needed 60 and he only got 20.
That's a much
I know.
No, I don't think the difference was that big. I think it was like
really.
I think it was a couple pounds at most.
I don't know.
So they said that, and they're like, okay, you gotta not shift your weight so that we don't waste any energy.
And then he's
And
just
then the
running.
and then the Volker like just falling on the cart, and then they still make it somehow.
Yeah.
And they remember I mentioned this. They don't just make it like with the last little bit of like they like
fly
make
through
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with every show, you're gonna have some issues. You're gonna have some plot holes here and there.
Yeah, and
but it's fun. It's still
all in the
fun.
service of making it fun.
Yeah, it's still fun overall, which I appreciate.
It's definitely not a brainy show. Like you don't have to think about too many things. We're overanalyzing it for fun.
Yeah.
Because we think it's fun. But it's really not. Yeah, it's not like a hard mystery that you have to solve or anything. It's an entertaining show. I think they did a really good job adapting it. Should be single. Yeah, it's enjoyable. It's a little. I think they looked at who the audience for the book is aiming at with being a younger audience, at least for a little bit, and then they looked at Six of Crows. They're like, okay, well this is for like a little older audience. All right, let's average it out.
Yeah.
It would have been interesting if it was a little bit more mature rated. I think that would have made it a little more enjoyable.
A little tiny thing that we won't get too into, but we saw on like when every episode starts to play, in the top left corner it says, why it's rated, what it's rated.
Well, I think okay, go ahead.
Hello, Shirley. I didn't read the books, but I wish they explained the powers more.
So
the powers are basically, again, it's kind of like Avatar, like you're just born with it. But Avatar is incredibly detailed with why they have bending abilities. So if you've seen Legend of Korra, but that's not what we're talking about right now. I can talk about that for days on end, but that could be something else. Anyway, in the beginning of every episode, there's like a little rating, like
top left corner.
Yeah, top left corner, like
it's
bad
every
language.
Show. It's not
gory,
just in this show.
Yeah, and any Netflix show, and in this one, on almost every episode.
Yeah.
It said nudity.
It was violence, nudity, and language. And my theory is
the way they curse, they just say saints.
That's one of the things that I asked you.
Like they don't really curse.
I asked you later. I was like, wait a second, did they ever curse in the show? And it's not something that is noticeable. I don't know if they curse or not, and it's not noticeable in like a good way. Because like Marvel stuff, they don't curse, and it's noticeable. They're like not trying to curse.
Even if they say "damn," Captain America will say "language." This is Disney.
Where in this, it like I didn't notice it. I didn't notice that they weren't being especially vulgar.
Yeah. There's one like half a second scene where, in I think episode 2, where Alina's like being bathed.
Yeah. So I think
that's it.
Well,
and you don't. So
the rating. Well, to be 14, 14 is, for teenagers, like kids on like 14-ish.
Okay, but that's not.
Well, no. So what I'm saying is like, the thing, the little descriptions. Sometimes, a lot of times, it's per episode or like obviously for movies, it's only for the movie. But I think this was just an overall thing. It was just this series contains some language, some violence, and some nudity.
And half a second of nudity.
So 14.
Interesting.
Yeah, because another shows you see it change per episode.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why.
And then you're like, okay,
this
one has this extra thing. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that's my theory.
Hi, what's going on? Oh, I see the title now. Good job. Hello. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions? Anything they want to talk about?
Don't forget about the giveaway if you haven't answered.
Oh, yeah. Just a quick reminder. The giveaway ends... What day is it? What day are we on?
28th. So 2 days?
Today's the 28th.
Yes.
It's Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. So it ends Friday. Ends Friday at midnight. Yeah, I'm giving away the Shadow and Bone box set. It's right up here on my shelf.
Next to all the mess.
Next to a mess of other things and all of my books that are very annoyingly spine in. It's very difficult to find what I'm finding. I have no system whatsoever. There are books over there. There's books in the room. There's books over here. They're just everywhere. I need a system.
You got in a couple comments about how nice your room is.
Oh, how nice my room is. I don't know how young people think I am.
I don't know if it's that. I think it's just like
I'm not that young.
I think it's more of like how nice the set is. It's just funny because it's literally a third of the house.
Yeah.
Like we're not gonna show more, but I mean, so that way is
our kitchen.
Like the other half of the room where we have another computer. I guess you can see there's one computer that way.
Station, another editing station.
There's a TV right in front of us.
Yeah, we're basically like in our theater.
Yeah, this couch is where we just watch TV normally.
Yeah.
and then right over there is the kitchen, and then the bedroom's through there, and that's it.
Yeah, it's a very humble home, but it's ours. And yeah, if you want a little bit more backstory on us, we are we still newlyweds?
It depends.
It's been 6 months.
That's what you're telling, I guess.
It's been 6 months. But yeah, I think I feel like we're still in a honeymoon phase a little bit. This is a new place that we just moved into a little while ago. So we're still getting situated. We're still kind of like, there are no pictures up yet. We still haven't put everything up yet. We still haven't unpacked everything yet. But priorities, first things first, we made our set. I've been wanting to make this channel for such a long time that it was really priority when we moved into this place. And Pablo built these shelves from scratch, from nothing. These were not here before. And I showed him a picture of like a wrought iron shelving thing. And I was like, isn't this cool? And he was like, oh, that's super easy to make.
I didn't say it was super easy.
You said that it was doable.
I said it was doable, yes.
So we went out. I have like a quick little reel about it on my Instagram if you want to take a look. But yeah, we just bought the materials. You stained the wrought iron, and you just did it. So, yay for having a very handy husband. Yeah. Before this, I just had like a little bookshelf. You can see in some of my videos, we still use the other little black bookshelf that I had, but that's all I had. And I have so many more books than I have shelves. So that was an issue. And then now these shelves go all the way up to the ceiling. So I no longer have an issue with space, but we do have an issue now with like, I need a ladder to get up there. Can I have one of those?
Well,
can you make me one of those real quick? That'd be great.
Then we want to have a place to walk to the kitchen.
Oh, that's right. We live in a closet.
But then also, I still need to tighten the top.
Yeah, and you can see kind of the bend in this because it's like, it's not bolted down as it should be. It's kind of like
yeah, I wasn't
bending.
done, and you're just like,
I'm just gonna put my books on it. Thank you.
It's okay. It should be okay. Anyways,
someone has a good comment.
Go ahead.
Did you like that they revealed the Darkling's real name so early when it was such a big deal in the books? Not sure why the writers made that decision. Funky Junk. I actually hated it. I hated how nonchalant he was like, oh, call me Alexander. And I was like, excuse me, what?
So actually, this is something that we didn't talk about because I was saying it. Is that the name he used? What was his name when he was the heretic? Was it Alexander?
No, it was just the Black Heretic.
I mean, no, like, I mean, I guess the answer would be
Alexander is just his real name. So I don't know, because Bugger says like he's had many names, he's had many this, many
like
that.
at some point they say.
I don't know what his other names are other than like the Darkling, Commander Kerrigan, which is what he's known as now.
That's supposed to be his last name though, right?
I guess, I don't know.
Because she says, oh, was it? Yeah, the fact that she says that he's changed names and her recommendation to him was, go away for a little bit, come back with a royal name or something.
Yeah.
Was it royal? It wasn't royal. It was
a noble
name. So I assumed that either, I don't know, maybe he was using a different name and Alexander was his his like real name.
Alexander is like the name Bagri gave him.
So then, yeah, so that would like that kind of would explain the whole the name being special. Like if people know your real name, they might make the connection. Like you can't tell people your real name.
No, it's just Alexander.
But then yeah, in the show there's a nationality that I don't know. To me, it didn't bother me because it didn't, but it also didn't seem like anything special. It was just what's his name? Got it.
There are just also so many correlations in theme and tone.
In the show, it was just okay. He's just looking to make it a more personal relationship.
Yeah.
Here's my first name.
Yeah, that's how they portrayed it in the show, and I really did not like that because although yes, it can be used as a way to like personalize yourself and be more approachable to someone that you're trying to manipulate, which he is.
Why'd you look at me when you said that?
I didn't.
Did you?
No.
I was looking at the screen.
Anyway, if that was like something that he could have used again as a manipulation tool, fine. But let it be, I don't know, something else other than his real name. Because in the book, it just seemed like such a heavy, heavy moment. And a very emotional moment when he told her his name. And it was just completely lost in this aspect. It was also lost his true bloodline. And I don't know if anybody remembers, but he's kind of like the descendant of the main guy of like the original Grisha, if I'm not wrong. I think they said that in the show, and I'm pretty sure that was in the books too. So you can see how unsure I am about everything because I don't remember. I have such a bad memory when it comes to like retaining details. I remember moments that like kind of like I said, like a dream. Like I remember moments in a dream. But yeah,
it's also a little bit of like done with that story, gotta move on to the next one.
With the channel. Yeah. So little time, so many stories. I don't
know if people can I don't know if this is an appropriate question to ask out of the blue, but like what do people like more? Do they like reviews in the style we have them, or would people rather watch other type of content?
You tell us.
yeah, I'm asking the
yeah. Would you like
people viewing?
I see, like I watch a lot of booktube, and I see a lot of people. I love doing the TBRs, and that's coming on Saturday. I'm doing a May TBR. Oh no, pause due to poor connection.
Quick, give it some money.
Live video ended. Aw, share to IGTV.
Oh wow, you're gonna share it?
I'll do it later. What was I saying?
This will stay live on YouTube.
Yeah, this will stay live on YouTube. I watch a lot of booktube, and something that I like, but I don't know if I would ever do, are reading vlogs. Because I used to vlog, and it was a lot of fun, but it was also a lot of nothing. And I felt like I like watching these, but I don't know how much other people would like watching this because it's not really about anything specific. And I don't know how much of myself I am being. I feel like when I do the reviews, I'm really being myself. So it seems like a much more honest view of me other than vlogs, which kind of seems a little bit backwards. It seems like a vlog would be a more honest version of you, but I felt, and maybe it was just my timing, because that was in 2016. I was still a student. I looked completely different. I had a different mindset than I do now. I was in a completely different place in life. So maybe now vlogs would be more fun. So yeah, tell us what you think about that. If you would want to see something like that, reading vlogs, more just book related videos or specific book videos. Because I understand a lot less people are going to want to watch a review if they want to stay away from spoilers, or if they haven't read it, or if they're completely not interested in that story or that book or that author or that genre. It's like a much more, booktube is already a specific niche of videos, and to make a review on a specific book is like a niche of a niche of a niche. So you're kind of inceptualizing yourself into this one little box when you do a review, which is why I see them do a little bit less successful, which is fine because I'm still doing it for fun and for the sheer satisfaction of like literally the few people that are here in the comments, like, I'm here for you. I'm here for myself, but I'm also here for you guys that are here. So
You got a question, by the way.
I got a question. What do you think season 2 is going to be about now that everyone is heading to Ketterdam? I know, Laura, IG ended. I'm so sorry. I don't know why it ended. It said poor connection, and then it just went boop. So sorry. But hello, you're here.
This is the better experience.
This is the better experience. Anyway, now that they're heading to Ketterdam, I am very interested in seeing what's going to happen. In the beginning of the second book, that's like similar to the direction that Mal and Alina are going. They're like living together and under, you know, like incognito, and then, you know, things happen. I don't want to spoil it for Pablo or anybody, but you know, they're kind of like where they are now, where they're trying to, Alina is dead to the world, and that's how she wants to stay, and things, you know, happen. Oh, the collar was such a disappointment. Oh my god, the antlers in her thing, it was such a disappointment.
I thought it was fine.
No, I was so disappointed.
Because you wanted it to be pretty, right?
Yes, I wanted it to be pretty.
But it was symbolic because she didn't want them, so it was ugly. And then when she accepted it, then there was a part of her and
she
it was
just
not visible.
absorbed it into her.
You know what? I think maybe if she absorbed it in a way that it was still visible and pretty, that would have been maybe a little bit.
I'm a
more
Sailor
poetic.
Moon. I'm a Sailor Moon person. Okay, so if something is on you,
when she's shining and it looks comical, it kind of looks like when they
transform into Sailor Moon. Oh my god. Yeah. I think that's why. Yeah, maybe that's why. Yes, collar was gross. Yes, the collar was gross. It was too weird. It was too invasive, I thought. And then the whole connection with him and the thing on his hand was like, the hell is happening? This is not how I remember it. And I have such a like, I don't trust myself, where I was like, did that happen? No, I don't think it did. But yeah, I hated the collar. I wanted it to be so much more than what it was. I loved the stag. The look in its eyes when the whole cut thing happened, when the Darkling cut it, that was kind of like emotional for me.
That was one of the shocking ones because they were leading
up
to...
that's where there was blood, where he cut that other guy in half, and it like splattered on her face.
I feel like there was blood in more than one scene.
There was blood.
But there was
Netflix could have made good merch sales with a nice collar. Yes, I agree. Like,
has Netflix ever made?
If this was on the CW
has Netflix
10 years
ever
ago,
sold
it would be. I don't know.
Like toys and stuff. I don't think Netflix has ever done that.
I don't know, but I was just gonna say, if this was like on the CW 10 years ago, like the Vampire Diaries, it would be in Hot Topic everywhere. You would be able to get like a collar necklace.
I'm sure there's
in
still
Hot Topic.
gonna be stuff that's maybe not licensed. Oh, there's gonna be like a lot of people doing it with like crazy makeup.
Shirley has a nice comment. You guys are so cute. Thanks, Shirley. I see that a lot of booktubers are married. I wonder if there's any connection between reading and settling down. Gotta hit those books. That's an interesting observation, because I don't think so. I don't think that I have more time now that we're married. I think I have like a lot less time now that I definitely have a lot less time to myself. Because my time
we might be lagging a little bit.
Is always either work or my husband. So I definitely have a lot less time to myself to read and do what I would typically do when I lived alone. I'm just gonna put this down. But we definitely have the setup that we needed, because we didn't live together before we were married.
Right.
It was a whole thing. We did not live together before we got married. But we were together for years before. So we didn't necessarily have the setup. I had a roommate, so it was kind of difficult to record when we wanted to record, because, you know, you have to be considerate of other people's space. And it's just like lugging equipment back and forth and editing stations. And when we got married and finally moved into this place, we were like, okay, our computers are in the same room, our equipment and everything, my books, everything is in the same room, literally. So we can finally do this.
So that's not a wall separating stuff.
Okay. Liam Kelly has a question. Wait, what books do inbred to read if I want to watch season 1 of this? Also, I love this channel so much. I was really confused when you said inbred. What books do I need to read if I want to watch season 1 of this? Okay, you should read these 3 books right here.
I can't see it.
They don't see it?
No, they can't.
Okay, these 3 books right here. Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, and Ruin and Rising. These are
so you don't need to
Oh yeah, you don't need to. But if you want...
The story and the adaptation is perfectly serviceable as is. And it's enjoyable without knowing the story. And it's a little different as well.
Yeah.
But, well, here's an interesting question. Do you think someone that watches the show first would like reading it less?
No. I feel like it would be a different experience. Because I don't mind reading something after I've watched it because it's different. Okay, so here's the thing. I talk about in my how to read video, which is honestly one of my favorite videos that I've ever made. You can go watch that if you want. It's pretty fun. I mentioned in that video that reading a physical book, an ebook, and an audiobook is literally, you're consuming the exact same story no matter what method you prefer. So if you prefer reading on a Kindle and a physical book, literally the only difference is the feel of it in your hand. Everything else is identical. An audiobook is just, it's going in here rather than in here. Like, it's just a different sense, but you're consuming word for word, verbatim, the exact same story. A movie, someone that says, I read the book when they only watched the movie is lying. If someone says, I read the book when they listen to it, they're not lying. But if someone says, like, if you're, an example is one of my favorite books ever written is Anna Karenina, and I understand that's problematic at times, but if you say, I saw the movie, if you say, I read the book, but you only saw the movie, you did not read the book, because it's completely different, even though it's the same. It's just a completely different, there's so many other minds involved. When you're reading a book, it's the writer, the editors, the publishers, sure. But when you're watching a movie, it's the director, the actors, the editors. The editors have such a say in what is being seen in the end product. Like, I don't think people who don't do video production understand how much an editor can make an actor look good and change the story. You can take, because we've edited films before, like actual
short films,
short films, but films, and you can take a horrible performance, and make it look really good just by the way you cut around the horrible performance. So the adaptation version of a story, is not the same.
Right.
So I don't know where I was going with this, but I forgot what I was saying.
Well, the original question was, do you think someone would enjoy it?
Yeah. So I think you would, like, definitely
is there a better order?
I think the better order in any aspect is to read the books and then watch the film. In any aspect. But that's not what happened with me in The Handmaid's Tale. But I still enjoyed it. I still enjoyed it immensely, even though it was incredibly difficult.
It's a different kind of enjoyment.
Yeah. And even you know what? And I talk about this, The Testaments was written after the show had already aired. It was already, like, its 3rd season was about to air a couple months. So Margaret Atwood already knew the entirety of the 3rd season before she published her second book.
Yeah, and that was so interesting too, because it's not just that she decided to add to the story after other people had their hands in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I feel like for The Handmaid's Tale, it's so rare for an adaptation of a book or a series of books to be either on par or better. And in this case, I don't know if I want to say it's better.
Yeah, the adaptation.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I think we're
But
gonna have a full thing about
That's
this
maybe next week.
next week. Yeah, we want to definitely have a full thing because I had so many thoughts and stuff,
And
and
The Handmaid's Tale?
yeah,
And we're going to have more. We haven't seen it yet.
yeah. But at the same time, I feel like it's so much to digest that it would have been nicer if we could do like a season 1 episode and season 2.
Okay.
But we didn't, so I know. I don't know how I feel about rewatching everything. Anyways,
Okay.
we've been streaming for over an hour.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
It's getting late. We have to film
Yeah.
the May TBR. We're about to do that. So you're going to see me in this outfit on Saturday. And yeah, I got to be at work in the morning. So we're going to do that. And then married life, go to bed.
Thank you guys
Okay.
for tuning in.
Yes, thank you guys so much. There are 8 of you now.
I don't think that was the best job at reading comments.
Hey, I'm sorry. All of you have such lovely comments, but I don't know, like, I'm trying to read that. I can't multitask. I can't read that and then listen to what you're saying and then think of the next thing I want to say. So maybe you'll do comments next time.
Okay. So you want me to cut?
I want you to do
comments?
everything, all the time. Everything. I just want to show up and be... Should I go back to my trailer?
Oh my god.
All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like this video if you liked it and subscribe for more, especially on Saturdays. That's when I upload usually. And then I don't know if we're going to make this an every week thing, but I definitely want to do this more because it's a lot of fun. But live shows, maybe Wednesdays? I kind of like Wednesdays because it's like the middle of the week. It's like,
Yeah.
I find that it's kind of our day to record. Sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes it's like the only day we have to record stuff. People are saying something.
Yeah, look at
Aw, please do more. Okay, Chelsea, I'll do whatever you say.
that. Don't be weird about it.
Thanks for the stream. That was nice. Oh, thank you guys. Oh my god. So much love. Wow. Okay. We'll see you Saturday. Bye-bye.
Oh no, I have to end the stream.
Oh my god. Can they still see us?
Yes, I can.
Oh my god.
We need like an outro.
Do 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 do.